The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
I did hear that they were coming through necessary media.
Because it's necessary. Necessary media. Media, because it's necessary.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am back again, your host and friend Michael DeOliveira, ushering in the necessary era every Wednesday here live on Comcast Channel 95. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, right there. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, I've told you before, again, this show is on the YouTube channel. I need you to subscribe to that. I need you to tell your friends and family to watch the show, tune in every week, because we're doing big things here. I've got a lot of people messaging me emails with a couple different side notes. One rumor I'm going to put out there now, and all it is a rumor I've heard, is that there's supposed to be some kind of an announcement tomorrow around noon that the mayor is going to be putting out his chief of staff information. This is a rumor. So I'm not giving you no details on who. And my intern Jake is telling me 3 o'clock tomorrow? Yes, okay. So Jake's waving around like a lunatic, and I figured it out. I don't know sign language, but I figured out what this meant. So I guess at 3 o'clock tomorrow, there's going to be an announcement of the new chief of staff, because in case you haven't learned by now, Chris Parano, his former chief of staff, had put in his resignation, and it was successful and all that. So we move on from there. So again, that is rumor. So if you're catching this live on Wednesday, tune in somewhere tomorrow. You'll find that out. Necessary Media will definitely post it. I don't know if we'll be the first one to get it, but I tell you right now, I'll post the information up when I get it. So look for that tomorrow. Now, so that's the rumor mill, a little bit of the rumor mill. There's another rumor I heard, but I'm not even going to comment on that one yet. But there might be someone announcing this month that he's already running for mayor. We already have I know some of you might have a hint of who you think it is. I think it's going to be the second or third hint, and I'm honestly surprised if this rumor is true. I just, again, like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have, it was this side. I don't have a PhD in political science, and I wasn't a political science major, but I'm telling you right now, if you're thinking about it, I wouldn't advise it. Not yet. I wouldn't. But, so that's that, I guess, a little bit more rumor mill. Now, I want to get into some things, but first, we're going to find out real quick. Is it a doorbell? Do we have somebody here? Jake, could you get the door? Do we have a guest?
Somebody better have something to say to me pretty damn soon, or I'm going to have something to say to them. I am very busy. No, not today. But somebody better have something to say to me, and they better have something to say pretty soon, because I'm a pretty busy guy. And to be honest, I'm coming in the last couple shows, I've been working on some things for the show, outside of the show. If I'm correct, if I got my numbers correct, I believe this is the 10th show, the 10th live show. So with that, I'm telling you now, I have a plan that every 10 shows for the first year, I'm going to either introduce or take away some things. So starting the next show, I'm going to have to talk it out with my team. We're going to have to do some creative planning here. But starting on the next show, I want to try to introduce some things, and I might take away some things. We're going to see. And now this will all depend to, or change depending on if you're watching live or you're watching on the YouTube channel. Now, going forward, so I need your feedback. Make sure you get on the Necessary Media Facebook page, leave me a comment message, let me know what you like, what you don't like, what maybe you'd like to change. Oh, I got an intern giving me some info. Media alert. Office of the Mayor of Fall River, press conference, Thursday, June 2nd at 3:30 p.m. So there was two sets of threes in that information. Hey, thanks, Jake. 5'8". What? live. Oh, well, duh, ladies and gentlemen, I should have known that. Right, if you want to catch it live, tune into Comcast Channel 18. But again, if you can't catch it live, get on social media. That information is going to fly out as soon as it's done, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, where was I now on this? Again, give me your feedback. What you like, what you don't like as the show's been going on. I'm going to introduce some new things. Again, guests are going to start rolling in. I've already got some booked. They're starting to roll in starting next week and going on. So it's going to get busy. It's going to get hectic here. So I appreciate the fan base. I appreciate the support. Let's keep it going. Now, I want to touch on something I saw this week that I thought was humorous. So I want to bring it up. I don't know how many out there have seen this yet. Now, there's going to be a crowd of you who are very, on social media and in the interwebs. You probably caught this. But if you haven't, if you're just someone who watches at home and, you're a little bit more of a TV body, you're not into the social network and all that, you might not have caught this. I want to bring up, there was a new version of a map of Massachusetts. Can we bring up that footage? All right, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new map of Massachusetts with such great names as West Portugal. Now, that's obviously Fall River, New Bedford, Taunton, that region. And, I think it fits. It fits pretty good. But a question I have is if you go way up north, we have Milltowns and Methadone. Now, I feel like Fall River was probably fighting for that spot, and we might have lost it just by a hair. I don't know. But now, moving on, we got the obvious, Gillette Stadium. Everybody knows, if you're going to talk about Massachusetts, it doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody, Gillette, there you go. And if you ever get on 495, forget it. But now, what I thought was hysterical was White, Florida. Okay? Now, if you want to take a vacation, ladies and gentlemen, you go there. You're going to see why they call it. But Gaycation Land? Gaycation Land takes the cake. I thought it was hysterical. This thing's been floating around online. So, yeah, like I said, if you weren't lucky enough to catch that, you can go online, just search Massachusetts. You probably put Massachusetts map, West Portugal. It'll come up. That's how I found it. And you'll find the unedited version. But I thought it was hysterical because so much of it was true. And now, if I have the ability, ladies and gentlemen, I might. Now, I'll bring that up another time. I was going to say maybe I could actually highlight some other points. But one thing I wanted to use that map as an introduction to as well was if you went further north, or just right around that Methadone clinic and Mills line, it started to, in other words, get toward New Hampshire. And key point is whenever you talk about New Hampshire, what do you talk about? No sales tax, right? So everybody goes flying up there for whatever they can get with no sales tax, which Massachusetts, I don't understand, hasn't learned their lesson in that department, competing with that. Imagine trying to live near there. I've heard this point brought up before. I don't know how you could run, or you would want to run a business once you get to that point in Massachusetts, when you have everybody who will just easily cross over the border and get it tax-free. I've never understood that, how that benefits anybody there. They should probably work on that. But what I wanted to tie that into, sales tax, no sales tax, let's introduce that into a conversation that people have talked about in the Fall River area for a while now, and that's as far as businesses who are paying tax. And what I want to tie this into is we just had Memorial Day weekend, and over Memorial Day weekend, I don't know how many of you realize this, but KMart officially had its last day. Its final day, I believe, was Sunday, so Memorial Day weekend, that was it. Bye-bye. No more blue light specials. It's done. And what I want some of you out there to understand, if you don't already, is we have a situation now where, so Kmart got the boot, all right? That's it, pretty much. They got the boot. They didn't have any help with their lease situation or whatever. And for them, in place of them, they were given the boot so that we could have this whole development of the new, I forgot what you call it now, the whole Harbor Mall area. But you have the Market Basket, we're going to have the movie theater, we're going to have this whole plaza district, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I forgot, South Coast, whatever, South Coast Plaza, the new and improved, Harbor Mall, basically. But, so we're going to have this new development coming in, but because of that, they straight up said, well, Kmart, out with the old and with the new. Now, the problem is Kmart's been here for a long time, and they've been established here. So, my understanding is they've already surpassed any kind of a TIFF, if any. They're contributing to the community, okay, through taxes and whatnot. They've been doing that. Now we're going to have these new people coming in. These people have been received, in case you don't understand what the whole TIFF thing is, because again, I don't know for sure who I'm talking to here, but the TIFF conversation has been going on and on as far as bringing businesses into Fall River, because what a TIFF agreement does is it allows us, as Fall River to negotiate with the business and say, well, we'll play around with your taxes for X amount of years, meaning you won't have to pay this, or you can pay this to here, and we move things around, shuffle things around. So we're basically giving tax breaks, big tax breaks to businesses over X amount of time to get these businesses to come to Fall River. Because obviously we have to, play with these people enough, get them excited enough to get over here, because there's not a lot of, big business things going on yet. And the Renaissance is coming, though, ladies and gentlemen. The Renaissance is coming. But we do these TIFF agreement deals, so the new ones coming in, they're not going to be contributing as fast. And to tie this into another point that, again, I'm not the first one to bring this up, but this is going to be the show where I rant on a couple things. And I want to rant on this because I do think this is important. I just segued from the whole sales tax thing to a business paying taxes, and how the Kmart has got the boot. They were contributing to the community. They're getting the boot in place for new businesses that's coming in, which up front will not be contributing tax dollars in. They're supposed to have jobs available, right? We're supposed to be able to bring people jobs, but the actual tax revenue is not going to be anything to smile at the beginning. But who knows what happens later? But what I want to go with that is, now with one of these businesses, Market Basket. We had everybody and their mother pushing for Market Basket. I wasn't even paying attention to this in the business sense because it was not my expertise, my field, right? This wasn't my thing. Upon further review, the reality is, if this new business now, Market Basket is going to come in, they're going to get these TIFF agreements, right? Market Basket is a grocery chain, obviously, right? Obviously. So they're now going to be going up ahead with another grocery supermarket chain, Stop and Shop, right? I'm not sponsored by any of these people, by the way, so this is free will talking. If you want to shout at me for a sponsorship, let's do that. But Stop and Shop now is going to have competition brought in, all right? Because all we've heard is that the wheel has been greased for Market Basket for a while. This was going on. I don't know if it started during Flanagan, but I know during Sam Sutter, his time as mayor, it was talked about all the time. And for all you Meade Moment fans out there, fans of the radio show before with the Meade Moment, everybody who knows city council, over and over, city council candidate David Meade just will not give up. David Meade was mentioning this all over the place about trying to bring Market Basket here. Well, they did everything they could to bring Market Basket here, but no one's thinking, so now they get all these TIFF agreements, right? So no taxes paid out. They're in competition with Stop and Shop. Stop and Shop is paying taxes, has been paying taxes. Stop and Shop has a facility that employs a ton of people out of this city and nearby cities, whatever, that pay taxes. So there's a set system already in place giving money or contributing to the community, and now we're going to have this new entity come in and we're going to help them, get nothing back in return. What do you think that's going to do down a Stop and Shop? We're going to stop that. They're going to bring down their customer base, right? It's going to get a little touchy. I don't think many people out there realize this. Now, again, if you're one of these people who are following along with everything, this isn't news to you. If it's not news to you, go talk to a neighbor, because some of these people might not understand this. TIFs have been, a TIF agreement has been one of the new, things to just hand out. They're like the new, the city council. What the heck? I had one last week on Necessary Media. Oh man, forget it. I'm gonna lose it. They've been Citations. All right, well, the city's been handing out TIF agreements like city council members hand out citations, okay? We're just giving them out lately. I don't understand it, but we got to get a hold on this because we need the tax revenue coming in. Now, again, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a show where I do a little bit of some ranting here. And something else I wanted to touch on, also along this same line, well, not actually, we're getting off the business thing. What I want to get into now real quick is a side topic. Again, I was talking about social media before and how people interact. I got an intern waving at me. Yes, Kelly, what is this? Residential taxpayers pay the TIFF annual. Okay, this writing, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't hire her for her writing skills or penmanship in this, but what the point being made is, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Kelly, my two interns, Jake and Kelly, Team JK. What their point is, what they're highlighting is the fact that when there's a TIF agreement out there, So this business comes in. So like how I just said to you, well, the business doesn't have to pay these taxes, right? So the business gets these taxes waived or whatever. It's not that this just goes away, because again, there's no such thing as free, period, right? So who's paying for this? This is now the taxpayers paying for this. So whenever these TIFs go out to these big businesses, all that's doing is shifting the burden from the business and the business owner and the revenue they generate. It shifts the burden from them onto the actual residents of the city. This is now why, more reasons, not the only reason, far from the only reason, but this is going to be one of the reasons why you're going to see your taxes continuously go up. Your services not meet the tax level going up. Your taxes go up, the services are, right? So somebody's got to pay that. It's going to be the resident. If it's not the business, it's going to be the residents. Someone's got to cover that. So the more we give out in TIFs, the more we put on the shoulders of the tax-paying resident. And in case you haven't noticed this, that base, that tax-paying resident base, is getting smaller, thinner, smaller, thinner. And eventually, I don't know how much that is going to sustain itself. But again, so that was the business end. Now, I don't really have anything too serious I want to get into off of that. If anybody wants to call in, feel free. I wasn't pushing this too much earlier, but if anybody wants to call in and chime in on anything, the number's 508-730-3222. So if you want to call in, chime in, feel free. What I wanted to touch on, though, again, this is not a serious topic. This has nothing to do with anything really right now. We'll get into that next week, because if I'm correct, Jake, Tuesday is city council meeting, right? Okay, so everybody, again, let me reiterate the fact that the show comes on Wednesday, every Wednesday, 6 to 6:30, to follow a city council meeting, so that we can actually, dive into some of the things that were going on that day. Now, I'm checking something quick. Hey, we got a caller. Hey, caller, you there? Caller, you there?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
All right, I can hear you. Hey, what's going on? You got a question or comment?
Yes, I got a comment for you.
Okay.
City of Florida just found out today, if you privatize, you're still getting taxed for your trash.
If you privatize, you're still getting carts for the trash?
No, you're still getting taxed.
Oh, right. Yeah, all right, exactly. See, the call is you're making the point that even if you've gotten out of the system and you want to go private, you're still going to be paying for this out of your taxes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right. And now, you understand that. How many of your friends and family understand that?
Well, I assume that they weren't going to tax us for it, and I just got off the phone about an hour ago with Mayor Correa's not Mayor Correa, Denzel Correa's head boy up there in City Hall.
Yep.
He kept on hanging up on me because I was pointing these things out, which we shouldn't be paying for.
Right.
If we privatize, and he got a little disappointed and hung up on me, and he kept on hanging up on me.
You got a name?
Not offhand. He told me his name, but I was so aggravated. I totally ignored it.
All right. By any chance, was it a man by the name of Faust?
What was that?
By any chance, was the name Faust?
I would believe so.
I'm only saying that because my understanding is he's the one who acts as the middleman. So that's the only reason I bring it up and I ask that question. So because I know my understanding is whenever you call the mayor, that's who you're going to talk to, is that middleman.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so you didn't have a pleasant experience. Try to explain that one, huh?
Right.
Hey, listen, like I said, it's good that you understand that. Just make sure your friends, your family, they understand it, because I don't think many people do. Everybody's back and forth on, should we go private, should we not? But even if you go private as a citizen, these things are going to have to get taken care of, because like you said, you're getting taxed for it no matter what.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand it. It's something that people got to be aware of. That's for sure.
And also, I talked to Linda Pereira.
Did you do this today?
About her comment about disabled people, and she totally claims that she never said it. So I'm hoping that Fed TV hears me, and I'd like to get a copy of the May 10th,
the meeting?
So I can actually approach her on it and bring her out on it, because she said that all disabled people should pay their fair taxes and shit. Excuse my language, but
that's all right.
I think that's totally disrespectful for disabled people.
Or listen, now I'm going to have to go back to the footage myself because I'm not too clear on it. But my opinion is, I know there's a lot of things they said they were going to try to fix for like the elderly and the handicapped and whatnot. There's a lot of things that they've said they were going to fix and to meet certain standards. I don't think they've done a lot of them up to this point. To get that back to pay as you throw. I don't know if you remember, but they kept saying they were going to try to make certain price points for the bags and whatnot to help people on a fixed income, right?
Right.
I don't think they've ever done anything with that yet, have they?
No.
No. So,
It's pretty much screw you. As long as you pay me, I'm going to screw you because my paycheck's more important than the citizens of Fall River. That's what they think.
well, you're not the only one to say that. And, I don't know if you've caught it before. I do have them in periodically with the show so I can ask them these questions. And Linda is someone I want to have on the show. I'm going to be reaching out to people. I have some other people booked. But Linda is someone I'm going to have on the show hopefully relatively soon. And, being as the vice president of the city council, she's got a lot of stuff that she, when she says something, it's got a lot of weight, or should have a lot of weight behind it. You know what I mean?
Right.
What do you feel about the whole city council president situation? Since you see, Caller, you're very opinionated. What is it?
What, with the no clapping or the whole city council altogether?
Well, listen, like I said, you're a very opinionated caller. I'm loving it. So, what's your take on the whole thing? Now that we got a new council president, what's your opinion on how Sean Kadim's handling everything?
I think he's not handling anything. I think he's just out to screw people. I think the whole city council should resign. You pretty much want the whole thing washed out? Yeah, I even think the mayor should resign because he's not doing what he said that when he ran, what he was going to do.
Oh boy, shots fired. Like I said, we got an opinionated caller right now. I'm loving it. All right, so
and
now,
to be honest with you, I'm so fed up with City Hall. I'm planning on storming City Hall and throwing the bums out.
Oh, we got one of them. Nix this. Well, no, you want the whole class out. So you're not even talking about 6. You literally want a whole whitewash. My interns are busy today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I think it's time that the citizens of Florida should reunite and storm City Hall and pull the bums out.
Oh, all right. So my intern just handed me something, and I'm sure you'll be interested to know this, that Cliff Ponte wants questions from the citizens. Now, Cliff Ponte's somebody, I just told you Linda Pereira is supposed to be scheduled to be on. Cliff Ponte should be one of the first ones I get in here because every time I've talked to him, he's been a busy guy. And, I have no problems usually talking with him. So I should be able to hook that one up real quick. So Cliff Ponte, I guess, caller, he wants questions to ask the administration for during the budget hearings coming up. You got anything specifically you'd like me to get out to him, or if he's watching this right now, something that for him to ask the administration during the budget? Is there something about the budget that sticks out to you that you really need an answer to?
For one, why am people that are privatizing getting taxed for services that they don't use?
Right. All right. So
Number two, if we don't use the services, we shouldn't be taxed for it.
I understand that argument. I know there's an argument for that, but I understand it. All right. So I see where you're going with this.
It's only fair that the way that the tax system was originally written was pay taxes on what you use, not what you don't use.
I know, but listen, I'll go with you with this. I know the argument that'll come up is, well, then what about like people who don't have children, but you pay for with schools?
Well, it's like this. It's your responsibility. If you have a child, it's your responsibility to pay for your child's education and all that. It's up to the parent. If you can't afford it, then don't have it.
I hear you. All right, well, listen, I'm going to do my best to get those questions across. We'll see what happens with it. And like I said before, make sure you let everybody that you know the situation, because I think more people are learning, but I don't think as many people knew, all this stuff going into it. I think a lot of people are just waking up now. Hey, but I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna move on. I appreciate the phone call, though. Definitely call in again. I love the opinion.
I'll keep in touch.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, very opinionated caller right there, and I love it. That was great. Hopefully we get more of those. Tune in every week again, every Wednesday, 6 to 6:30. And like I mentioned, next week will be after City Council meeting, And I can pretty much 99.9% guarantee we're going to have somebody from that meeting in here to answer some questions. So we'll see what happens at that city council meeting. Now, all right, I wanted to get into something quick. And the show's already, that caller was great, but now the show's moving on. And I got about 4 minutes left. So I wanted to just get out some talking points that I wanted to bring up on the show while I had time. One thing. Obviously we had Memorial Day weekend, and that's a big deal. And I think Mother Nature played a game on people where, a lot of people, there's a lot of flack out there for how we treat Memorial Day now, and a lot of holidays in general, that they become excuses for adults to act like kids, basically. And I'm fine with that. Don't get me wrong. In other words, it's barbecues, drinking, partying, and all that stuff. And that's what the day is about, and the day that, the Sunday, and then you have Monday off so you can recoup. That's what these days have turned into. Not at all what they're intended for. So this year, I thought it was pretty, ironic might not be the right word, but I'm going to use it. I thought it was pretty ironic because we had, that storm that came in. So anybody's major cookout plans kind of got shut down. So I think it kind of forced you to do a little bit more of reflection than you might. And one of the talking points that came up over the weekend was because of, now this is national again, this show deals with local, national, serious to silly, all that stuff. So one of the things that came up was about how President Obama was going around on what people call the apology tour, and he again he apologized to Japan about dropping, the bomb on them, dropping 2 bombs on them. So he did the apology tour thing, and, apologized for our actions during that time, and not a lot of people, mixed reviews. You have people on one side who are just not playing around with this apology tour thing. They don't appreciate it at all. What are we apologizing for? And then you have the other side who's like, well, it's about time somebody apologized for this because it was insane that we did something like that. We just completely wiped out a ton of civilians, innocent people who had nothing to do with anything. These are the two conversations. Now, all I want to say to this, I want to bring an angle on this. I'm going to tell you right now, my opinion, Michael DeOliveira, is completely wiping out such a vast space, with civilians and innocent lives involved, not good at all. I'm someone who's been very vocal about this ever since, 9/11 and et cetera, when I started getting into all this stuff and I stopped paying attention to geopolitics and how we play the chess field of the world. And, when we have soldiers coming back who talk about bombing with unmanned drones, they bomb a whole area, wipe out this whole slate clean, and then you find out, oh man, we thought there was a terrorist organization going on over there. Nah, it was just a wedding party, bro. They were just doing the chicken dance and completely wiped out. So I've been somebody who continuously spoke up and said it's ridiculous to do that and that we do it a lot. But here's the major but. As far as going on an apology tour, dude, keep that in-house. Like, my point is, when you want to apologize, for a lack of a better word, because I don't think that is the right word we should be using. It was a different time with different things going on. I think apology is the wrong way to go. But when you talk in-house, meaning Americans to Americans, and when we talk to our young, when I talk to my son, okay, and I teach him what's going on in the world, I'm going to teach him the right way to look at this, what we messed up on, what we could have did better, how things were maybe persuaded for people to think things. But you can't go around to other countries like apologizing like that. It's no good. It does no good. If anything, it does harm. That's my opinion. The grand scheme of things, good. Actually doing it, not good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got about 30 seconds to do this. I want to go right now into the fan favorite No Flex Zone Award of the week.
No Flex Zone.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you are in the No Flex Zone. The No Flex Zone is a zone where you do not belong flexing. And by flexing, I mean doing anything you're not supposed to be doing in a place you're not supposed to be doing it. And this week's real easy, folks. The No Flex Zone Award winner this week goes out to that little kid who jumped inside a gorilla's environment. Okay? Let's jump inside the gorilla's home, okay? This kid, I believe he was 5, might have been 4, but it's 4 or 5, decided to literally flex in a no-flex zone. You ain't got the muscles to compete with the gorilla, little kid. Stop it. And the parents should have did something, but I'm giving it to the kid. The kid's getting it. That's going to be the winner this week, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to come back next week and every week live, Wednesday, 6 to 6:30 here, Comcast Channel 95. And I'm out. Thanks, everybody.